Welcome everyone to Haven of Horror. I'm Subject879 and I have Robert waiting for me in the Discord voice chat. Today we're picking up with where we left off on The Last of Us. I did make some progress off stream so that we're not just doing the same thing over and over and over again. So I hope you all don't mind. It should still line up with everything. But we are going to get started. I can't see the chat. You Krispy Kreme motherfucker.
Greetings.
What's up?
Has paid to have his question answered.
Not too much.
How's it going? How's it going? You ready to get killed?
I'm ready. I'm ready for whatever this day is going to bring. The stream is in your hands.
Why do I have no game audio? There we go.
So I see we're back here. Your favorite spot.
I made a little progress off stream. This is right ahead of where the last death of the night was.
And we're not going to be sure if that was a checkpoint.
Not sure. Don't trust it. See anything. Oh.
No.
What? How did that hurt me? Okay, game. I think we're out of danger. And so it should end up kind of syncing up from the last stream to this one.
Well, if I recall, there's still a couple more bombs up here.
We're not being subtle right now.
Watch your step.
Maybe Leah will come to us. Yeah. Or they might be waiting to ambush us.
So the only thing that is unfortunate is I didn't get to the weapon station or the weapon upgrade bench when I was running through the part with all the enemies. So that's something we'll have to figure out, but it shouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah. I mean, you always know there's going to be more of those up ahead.
Yeah. And we'll leave this costume on for right now, since now we're actually making progress. But maybe every couple of streams we'll switch it up.
Yeah, for sure.
Feels empty. I don't buy it.
I think we're past all the trip mines now.
Not yet.
Famous last words.
Tell me about it. What have you been up to this week?
Not much. Just rewatched the director's cut of Exodus 3. Pretty excited for tomorrow.
Oh yeah, I should watch that.
Yeah, I'm going to rewatch the theatrical cut, the one more people are familiar with. I'm gonna try to rewatch that tomorrow before the stream starts.
Yeah, I'm gonna at least watch the theatrical cut. My days are all screwed up. You're lucky I showed up. I got off work and booted up a different game. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna veg out and play that. Oh wait, it's Thursday.
Is next week when you're taking a week off, or is that going to be the following week?
I am taking at least the Thursday gaming night off, yeah, next week.
Okay.
We'll
But we
probably
still want
do
it.
a Batman thing.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Fuck.
Yeah, because I've watched the director's cut of Exodus 3 before, but I wanted to rewatch them in this order this time, like watching it as more or less how it was originally intended, and then rewatching the theatrical cut. Just trying to pick up on all the differences. It's still like mostly the same movie. It's, I don't know, maybe like 85% the same movie, but there are those few like really notable differences.
Okay, I haven't seen the director's cut at all.
Yeah, we'll get more into it tomorrow, but I like the director's cut. I appreciate that it exists and that we have it in some capacity, but I will say that I do prefer the theatrical version.
I'm pretty sure
That is my...
Blatty or whatever that guy's name is just like hissed at you.
I guess it depends on what you read, because interviews I've read from him, even with all the studio interference and mandates or whatever, like he still seemed pretty happy with how the movie turned out. The director's cut came out like shortly before he died and like decades later, so I really don't know how involved he actually was with that project.
Oh, true.
You know, because I think someone else found like the old footage and tried to assemble it, but I really don't know. I haven't done much research on like the assembly of that yet.
I feel like that's a Screen Factory thing, right? Like,
yeah,
we'll salvage this old cut. Like they tried to salvage the Friday the 13th gore, but they just couldn't.
Yeah, it's nice to see that stuff.
This is definitely not.
D is being generous when it comes to that Friday the 13th footage.
I don't know.
Yeah, true.
But it's a message.
Yeah, the footage put back in for Exorcist is definitely better than that. It's, I mean, if you remember what it was like to watch movies on VHS tape, like that's what it looks like. So it's jarring, but still watchable.
God damn. You can see her intestines.
That you can.
The Seraphites in this, funnily enough, kind of remind me of Horizon Zero Dawn.
Interesting.
Just because it's kind of that same setup where like the world ended and we kind of returned to our roots. But these people are obviously more savage.
That's true. I've not played the Horizon games, but I have a friend who did. They're very fun.
Pretty cool. It's kind of like what if technology ended the world and we all resorted back to like tribalism.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's Apocalypse 101 stuff right there.
Yeah, and you fight robot T-Rexes with a bow and arrow.
If we live to see the apocalypse happen, I'm anxious to see which way we go. Do we go like the savage back to our roots route, or do we all just wear leather and just drive around in cool cars and motorcycles? I prefer the latter personally.
I'm gonna be disappointed if there's no robot T-Rexes, personally.
Yeah, that's true.
And I just broke both of her legs.
Is that graffiti again?
Why would you do that?
Because it made me
Someone else
laugh.
the WLF fucked with.
This is a greatly designed room for stealth.
Oh yeah, this is a really fun section coming up. Because, yeah, this is our first real glimpse at the brutality of the Seraphites, learning about this other cult, this other group. But the WLF are going to show up and give us a hard time.
I did not mean to do that. Yeah, I mean, just look what they did to these people.
Yeah, they probably had it coming.
Probably. You heard it here, folks. Robert supports stringing people up by their entrails.
I think it's important to hear the other side of the story. So, Avatar: The Last Airbender, the Netflix version, is premiered today. I have not started that yet.
Oh, no. I ain't watching that shit.
I have heard mixed things.
I was out the moment they said we ruined Sokka's character arc because we can't have sexism in our show.
Oh, yeah, that was like the first big red flag for me. I was like, uh-oh. I think we're doing this wrong.
We have to search all of it.
Yeah, no, I was like, you people don't get it.
Just
Yeah.
And, like, the funniest thing with that is, let's be real, it's not even that bad in that show because it's a kid's show.
Right. And you have to, like, I don't know. I don't know what kids are like today. I don't know how much culture has shifted, but 20 years ago, like, there was a lot of casual sexism, especially from children. Like,
I remember when I was growing up, girls were dumb, you know? It's just the way it was.
Yeah.
And the girls that I knew were the same way about us boys. Like, that was just a thing in my neighborhood.
So, for context, before anyone gets mad, in the first, like, 4 or 5 episodes of the original Avatar cartoon, Sokka, one of the main characters, is a little sexist, and the show is not saying that's a good thing. He doesn't see his sister Katara as an equal, he doesn't get her whole waterbending thing, he doesn't really see women as warriors, and he is humbled very early on in the series, and sees that women are just as capable as men, and he's like a 15-year-old character, so he has an arc, he learns a lesson. The show, and then for the Netflix show, they said, oh no, we're not doing all the sex stuff.
Robert, all you had to say is for context, go watch the fucking show.
Yeah, but people who yell at us aren't going to do that.
Well, fuck them.
They don't want to do research.
That's her.
Hey, look, she's a human pincushion.
That's nice.
Yes.
Arts and crafts, I like it.
Guess the universe really wanted her dead, huh? There's nothing on her.
That's a lot of arrows. Might have been a bit excessive.
Nah, we had to make sure she was the ultimate pincushion.
Mm.
Acknowledge me.
Dina. It's all of them. Hey, wait.
So I've got some fun trivia.
Their fucking smiles.
Hit us.
You probably know this, but for people who don't, do you know who one of the first like vocalists they brought in to do the clicker sounds?
If I do know, it's not coming to me.
Well, her name is Misty Lee. I don't remember who at Naughty Dog like knew her, but yeah, she's like one of the first people they brought in on the first game. They're like, hey, can you just like do zombie noises for us, but like something different? And she did it, and like she nailed it immediately. Like this just weird clicking sound that the clickers make in these games, which is very distinctive and unique. And all the other like voice actors they brought in, you know, are copying for the most part what she's doing. And the weird tidbit is Misty Lee is the wife of Paul Dini.
Oh. Put a pin in that.
Small world.
I will be right back.
I will put the pin in that body. Well, and obviously, John knows who Paul Dini is, but for those who don't, he is one of the writers on Batman the Animated Series. He co-wrote Mask of the Phantasm, and he wrote some of the best episodes of that show, like Heart of Ice, Joker's Favor, where he introduced the character Harley Quinn. So yeah, he's done a lot for Batman, and he wrote the first couple Arkham Asylum games, Arkham Asylum, and Arkham City. So a lot of stuff people love with Batman. Paul Dini wrote, and his wife Misty Lee voices the clickers in these games, and that's fun. Small world. We'll be right back.
No, you can't.
What?
Why?
Oh, I'm glad you're back. I was about to start dishing out my stand-up.
I see.
Well, she's dead.
Would it have been funny? Everybody laugh.
I'm pissed we couldn't talk to her. Yeah.
She didn't hurt Joel. Might have made one or two people cry.
Up to make her talk.
This is how bad it is.
Hundreds of miles to torture him.
That's up to the individual.
We shouldn't have any more breaks like that, but I wasn't about to pass up chili cheese dogs and fresh home fries.
Ah.
And I mean, like, straight cut from the potato and deep fried in the house. Fresh.
For people who don't know, John is a diehard Sonic fan, to the point that he shares his obsession with chili cheese dogs.
True.
Chili dogs.
No, I'm, actually, it's funny you say that, because I am actually more of a Shadow fan.
You're one of those people.
I am one of those people.
What are you doing?
Cutting them down.
I'm sure the building's clear.
Do you think the original Shadow game deserves a remake? Is that happening?
It is not happening as of yet. Well, okay. That's kind of a complicated answer. But to answer your first question first, I am one of those people that would buy a remake of Shadow the Hedgehog, the video game. I loved that game as a kid. So
I remember wanting it, but I never got it.
The reason I say that it's complicated is because they're not making like a full-on Shadow the Hedgehog game remake, but they are making like a remaster of Sonic Origins, I think. And including Shadow levels and Shadow himself in it.
Right, I think that's what I've heard. Does he get his machine guns?
I hope so. Shit. Like, I think Sonic 1 the movie is okay. I think Sonic 2 is like an improvement in some ways and worse in others. I really want to see 3 because they're doing my boy.
That's true. Have you heard the rumored casting choice?
Hayden Christensen, right?
Yep, I love that choice. I think that'll be interesting.
It will definitely be interesting.
I just want him to get more work, like, outside of Star Wars. You know, I'm glad he's back and people are embracing him more, but I don't want him to be, like, just stuck playing Anakin again. Like, I want to see him in other things.
Me too, yeah. And I don't know how he would do as a voice actor, which is interesting.
Right, but depending on the tone, it could work.
No, I mean, I'd be curious to see it. I wouldn't say no.
Yeah, I still need to watch the second one. I've generally heard it's better than the first one. You just need to cut like 45 minutes out of it.
There is a very long section in the middle towards the end that you could cut out, and that movie would be 10 times better.
Come on.
Yeah, that's about what I've heard.
But I'm also not a Sonic guy. I've only played the GameCube games, Adventure 2, Heroes, and Shadow. So Shadow the Hedgehog is kind of where my interest begins and ends with Sonic. I have Sonic Frontiers, but I haven't gotten around to playing it yet. I'd like to go through Sonic X, the anime, because I remember that from back in the day doing a pretty good Shadow arc.
Oh, nice. I've never seen any of that stuff. I've seen the 2 Sonic cartoons from the 90s, but Nothing really beyond that.
And then Netflix has a new show, which I guess also adapts Shadow.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Did Netflix also do that previous show? Remember that? What was it? What was it? Sonic Boom? Where they had like the game and the cartoon, and both were failures.
Yeah. Do you remember what console Sonic Boom launched on?
Oh God, was that like the Wii U or something?
It was the Wii U.
I nailed it.
Oh wait, no, that's not Netflix. That's Cartoon Network.
Oh, okay.
Dude, those are some of the worst Sonic designs I have ever seen.
Oh yeah. You know, did he get a scarf?
He got a scarf. Knuckles is like 10 feet tall for some reason.
Alright. Well, he's Chad Knuckles. That was, you know, you had to beef him up because Knuckles was making a comeback at the time.
Their take on Knuckles just is, isn't he dumb?
Okay.
He's no Ugandan Knuckles, that's for sure.
I mean, Ugandan Knuckles is peak.
But that's just a fact.
Like, I know people got sick of that meme, but I've never gotten sick of that meme.
This is Dewey.
I will show you Dewey, my brother.
We gotta keep moving.
But I also don't, like, I obviously I'm, like, knowledgeable about memes and, like, I look at them, but I also don't look at memes 24/7. I don't burn out on them.
True. I definitely did. When I was at high school, I had iFunny. I had that app for a couple years.
I
and that's
still
where
have that app.
my memes. I think I lost it when I switched phones, or I finally just got rid of it or something. I don't think it's around anymore unless they brought it back.
No, it's still around. You can install it now.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I thought it was taken off the App Store or something, but I could be wrong. There were some where I did hit that point was, I think I'm outgrowing this, and these are too repetitive, and alright.
The only meme that I've
seen all
ever
the good
gotten
ones.
sick of is the Morbid Time memes.
Sure.
And I think that's just because I'm in 2 different Geekvolution Discords, and certain people just wouldn't shut the fuck up about it. So real quick, on a Last of Us related note, I'm just a sucker for red lighting.
Heads up by the train.
Oh, right? Anything like in the dark with flares, like obviously this makes me think of the climax of the Batman. Just
Yeah.
wanting, like, I love that lighting. It's great. Yeah, red has never been my favorite color, but I've always enjoyed like the way that color is used in settings like this. If that makes any sense.
It is my second favorite color. Shit.
Sounds like we need to do a color tier list.
Black is number 1.
Yeah, like my favorite color has always been green, but I can't like immediately like name a lot of like characters or things where it's like, oh, like that's why like it's.
Yeah,
Don't
when I
understand
was
it.
younger, I had that because I was obsessed with the Green Ranger.
Sure.
Specifically, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Green Ranger.
Dina.
Come on, come on!
Let's go.
Go, go, go! You like how I got out of there without like only killing one person?
Sure. Well, even in the previous section, before we got in the subway, I was surprised how quickly you got out of there. There are sections like that where you can just kind of, like, if you know where you're going, you can get out of there pretty quick. But every time I've played this game, I usually end up killing everybody.
Oh yeah.
Make it harder on myself.
I've just played too many survival horror games that rely on saving resources for big moments.
True.
That it's almost like muscle memory.
Speaking of that, I want to bring this up in case I never forget. In case I
Did
never
you
remember.
forget.
Sure, quote me on that. You have played all the way through Last of Us Part 1, correct?
Multiple times.
And the remaster before that. On my last playthrough of the remaster, I had this really weird moment. It was near the end during the subway section in that game before you get to the Fireflies, when there were like no infected.
Weird.
And I was playing it on the same difficulty I'd always played it before, and on the PS3 version of the game. So that was like my most recent playthrough of that, where I was like, is this a glitch? Did they change this? Like, I couldn't remember, and I'm curious how that played in part 1. But if it was a glitch, it was a weird glitch, because there was that momentary moment of relief, like, oh hey, they're not here, that's awesome. And that's like, oh, that section's kind of fun though. And that's like,
You're talking about the section where like you can walk in, there's like a line of runners that you can take out, and then you go into the big room and there's like 2 bloaters.
Yeah, there's like 3 bloaters. Like, it's in the subway.
No, they didn't change that. You just had a glitch.
Yeah, that was bizarre. Like, it was weird because everything else played normally. It was just like there were just no infected in that section.
You ready to hear some misery? Try doing that on Survivor difficulty.
Good point.
I was there a while. I know that section like the back of my hand.
Yeah. Well, on previous playthroughs of it, I just got a good like handle on it, just like where to use Molotov cocktails and arrows and stuff like that. It's a pretty fun section if you know what you're doing, but if you're playing it on the highest difficulty, yeah, I imagine that's a nightmare.
Yeah, because you know how you use Molotov cocktails and stuff to get through the bloaters? Well, on Survivor difficulty, you don't have that shit.
Oh, damn.
No, when they say resources can be scarce, they mean they are fucking scarce.
Fuck.
That shit was harder than Resident Evil on hardcore mode. And Resident Evil on hardcore mode requires a physical object to save. I don't know if you know about this, but because Resident Evil starts on the PS1, and to make up for like the manual saves that you'd have to do, that you would require, because in Resident Evil, most Resident Evil games you save at a typewriter. Well, in the old games, to save you had to have an ink ribbon to make up for, to A, create a tense like, oh, I only have this many saves, and B, because you had to manual save anyway because it was memory cards. Yeah, for those younger than me watching, at one point in time, we didn't have internal hard drives in our consoles.
That's true. And if you lost that memory card, you lost everything.
Yep.
We should let them kill each other. Agreed.
And in the remakes, at least 2 and 3 remake, they brought that back where if you play on hardcore difficulty, you can only save if you have an ink ribbon.
My favorite kind. What's the plan? Got another ladder across there.
Yeah, didn't they do something similar in Resident Evil 7? Isn't the gimmick in that like the VHS tapes?
You're close, but combining 2 things. So
Gotcha.
In Resident Evil 7, the saves are on like cassette players that would play back audio, you know? And on Madhouse, you have to have physical cassettes to save. But there is a mechanic in Resident Evil 7 where you can find VHS tapes, and they will actually show you a puzzle that you have to do later in the game and how to do it.
Okay, that's what I remember.
And by show, I mean like you go into the videotape and you play as somebody in that tape doing something that you will later have to do as Ethan, so you know the proper way to do it.
That's a fun mechanic.
And the best one is there's a section that's like a Saw section where you're trapped in this room and you have to figure out how to get something out of a birthday candle, a cake. Oh, you have to figure out how to put the candle on the cake. And you have to solve all these puzzles. But if you don't watch the VHS tape and you just do it how it's spelled out, you will die.
Damn.
I have issues with that game personally, but it's also the Resident Evil we needed because those games kind of got to this climax of like action schlock that just wasn't good.
Yeah, I remember just not hearing good things about the sixth one.
6 is a fine co-op shooter, I guess, but it's a god-awful Resident Evil game. When you're fighting like a guy that mutated into a dinosaur, you know you fucked up.
I mean, that could be fun.
Yeah, I mean, like in its own game.
I don't know enough about Resident Evil to say like what the line is, because I know 8 does weird stuff, but people seem cool with that one. So
the thing with it, the difference is 8 is still a survival game in some degree. You have to manage your resources, and it's not over the top, but like in the classic Resident Evil, like this is goofy, but it's also terrifying because you're experiencing it. Whereas 6 is just like, I don't know what's happening. Things are exploding. I have to kill things. None of this is scary.
Dina, this way.
I don't think 6 is not good, but 6 is fun enough if you divorce it from Resident Evil.
I got you!
do you think it's better or worse than 5? Because 5, I know it's
5 is way better.
Okay.
Dude, 5 is legitimately one of the best co-op games ever made.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. I know obviously not every portal's into 5.
No, yeah. That's kind of so it's interesting because the first 3 are survival horror on the PS1 and have a very specific feel to them. But that formula was kind of burning out. Like Capcom was kind of sick of it. Audiences were kind of sick of it, etc. So they do 4, which kind of merges the survival horror with the action, but like in a good way. Kind of like say Aliens, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then 5 comes out, and it is just like pure action schlock. But it's fun because they add co-op, and like the gameplay is solid. And then 6 just takes everything in 5 that's wrong with Resident Evil and amplifies it.
Gotcha.
We have 2 Shamblers, and I don't like this.
Yeah. I don't like this. I was second guessing myself earlier because I'm like, wait, were these acid floaters? Were these Shamblers? Or are the ones that come up later? Or I'm thinking of Stalkers. Okay, so these are Shamblers and the ones later are Stalkers. Right?
Yeah. I think Stalkers are the like little fast ones.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I get the names mixed up.
Yeah, and I don't think they really refer to them very often. Shit. Ellie, I need you to move.
Oh, God.
Where's the other one? Is it dead?
Fuck these assholes.
Something that's cool with these is I think they mention in the journal entry that these evolved specifically because of the atmosphere.
Is that what they called them? Yeah.
Or like the
Yeah,
terrain
Where
here.
the Shamblers come from? I don't fucking know.
I'm curious how they'll handle them when we get to the show. Like, I doubt in the show they'll have them throw acid at them, but maybe they like bleed acid, or like if they kill one, they just like spray acids. Like they could still incorporate that in some.
See, I don't think it sprays acid. I think it sprays spores.
Yeah, but they're definitely like more acidic than like what the bloaters throw. And I mean, the
man.
show.
It'd be so cool if we could get like a body horror moment of somebody just getting blasted in the face.
Yeah, I think they could make that work because I mean, the thing is, they dropped spores from the
Acid
show,
burns.
so like that's what the bloater we get doesn't.
Yeah. We really
But,
need
like,
to do a more in-depth review because every time we talk about that show, I feel like I find something else that I wanted to talk about, but we didn't have time.
Oh, definitely. We skipped over a lot. Like, but I mean, for the one bloater we got, like, I was satisfied. Like, okay, it's big and strong. Like, that's enough. Like, I don't need it to throw spores. Like, it's a fun mechanic in the game, but like, I don't need that in the show. But with these acid ones, I think these more acidic ones, like, I think they could still incorporate that in some capacity, and like you said, have a couple cool body horror moments.
Yeah.
And one thing that was great, about that bloater scene in the show is that when it kills Perry, like it's like the death animation. Like if you're Joel and you get killed like that, that was cool. Like that's how you do fan service.
Yeah, it's so good.
Being
Let's see
distracting.
where this takes us. Take your time.
Come on, Dina, goddamn.
Okay.
Yeah, there are a lot more of these little bits in the first game, with like these garage doors, like the chains you gotta lift up. And there's some of that.
I've always
It's clear.
assumed those are to hide
Far as I
loading
can see.
screens.
Good.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because I know Arkham, or I know like Mass Effect does that. Every time you ride an elevator, it takes so long because it's hiding a loading screen.
Nature's an asshole.
Oh yeah, that's in a lot of games. Whenever you have an elevator sequence, it's also probably in these games, but definitely in others. Like if you have a character that's like getting through a tight space, like in a wall, and you're like following them, like Jedi Fallen Order does this. Like they're loading the next like section.
So it's interesting you mentioned that because that has been debunked.
Really?
Now it's not obviously it's not a one-for-one scenario. But I think it was when Ragnarok was coming out, God of War Ragnarok, or maybe it was Fallen Order. No, not Fallen Order. Jedi Survivor. I get those two mixed up all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes they are loading screens, but oftentimes it is because they don't want players to be able to go back.
Interesting. In
At
certain
least not in the
situations,
first playthrough.
Yeah, in certain situations, I understand that where they want the player to think like, okay, like you're making progress.
Yeah.
I guess. Although
See.
I like that first game, but that game forces you to backtrack a lot to get
Are you
out of
talking
certain
about
areas.
Jedi Fallen Order.
Fallen Order. Yeah, I played Fallen Order, but not Survivor. I think in Survivor they have a fast travel system worked in.
Yeah, as somebody that platinumed that game, holy fuck. What do you mean if I can't figure the rest out? What?
Okay, well, go check out the soda machine.
No, I did. It says 1522 question mark question mark. Okay, enough hints. If you can't figure the rest out, I'm with the wrong man. Enjoy. V. What?
Sounds like quite the pickle.
No, wait. Damn it. Wait. What? Oh. 152. Okay, it's not as hard as I thought.
Yes.
Is it just the last two numbers you
Magic.
haven't used?
Yeah, so
I don't.
each number is only one, can only use one time, so it's just process of elimination. Is it 3-4 or 4-3?
Okay, because I know I got past this part. I just didn't remember what the answer.
Yeah, no, I didn't remember that either. So it's like, what the fuck? This is like the vaguest clue I've ever seen.
Yeah, but I was gonna mention earlier too, though. I did remember that there was a room to not miss. I guess this was it. So it doesn't look like they're giving you a whole lot.
Not so far. Not that I need anyway.
Flamethrower would be nice.
That comes later. Really? I can only hold 16 bullets in this pistol? Robert, I don't know about you, but I'm glad to be finally past that stupid fucking TV station.
Oh yeah, we've already made a decent amount of progress. You were doing pretty
Considering
well.
he spent the last 3 weeks on that one fucking section.
That's in the past. No need to dwell.
Squash banana, we mow.
No, I hate to ask because I don't know what your response is going to be. But are you playing this on a lower difficulty or?
I have not changed anything. I think that part is tricky because those stupid landmines.
Yes.
And I just jumped in without warming up to the game's controls or anything, and
yeah, in hindsight, we might have been able to try to just speed run out of there instead of killing everybody, but it's definitely a tricky section. But then there's like just all those supplies you just don't get, so that's the trade-off.
Supplies, some essential supplies. Okay, how the fuck do I get in there?
Was it another code, or is there a key you need?
No, I think the door is just straight up locked.
Is there like a vent or something to crawl
I
through?
think there's a vent, yeah. Alright, we'll come back. Because I think it's in the next main room.
Okay. Yeah,
Now
you
I
just
don't
gotta
know
be...
which way I came from.
These sections always make me paranoid, because I'm like, oh no, I don't want to, like, get past this and then have the game
There must be a way around.
lock me out of that part.
Your optimism.
Or it's like, no, let me backtrack.
Yeah.
Didn't go too far. Like, I've talked about this before, but like that one... Every time I play the first game, I almost always miss the safe in Bill's town, because I always walk past it and then I get too far, and I can't.
Shit.
Or I'm like, damn it.
We got this.
Fuck me. Damn it. Move! I can't fucking move! Oh my god.
Find a way in.
It's fine. I'll take it.
Spores ahead. Masks. Okay.
Yeah, your problem was running into a dead end there. Oof. Well, the good news is you got a checkpoint.
We gotta keep moving.
I will say though, some of the more fun sections in these games are when you have people with infected. You can just let the infected take them out. That can be pretty entertaining.
That's how I got through that last section of like the restaurant. I led the infected over and let them do their thing.
Damn it.
So which is it? Are they scars or trespassers? Clickers. Watch yourself. Fuck this.
Yeah, that's a concept we haven't explored a whole lot with these games yet, like using the infected as weapons or deterrence. You get a little bit of that, like in the last section of this game, with like the guys like that have some like, chained up outside, but you don't get a whole lot.
God damn it, Dina!
Dina, you're really losing your street cred we were giving you in the first couple streams.
Spores ahead. Masks. Okay.
I am not looking forward to the Rat King.
We gotta keep moving. There's a way through. I thought they had us. I know. Ellie.
Now snipe it. Okay.
Well, I've heard that the Rat King's included with some of the no return stuff. Have you gotten anywhere near that yet, or are you still stuck?
So which is it?
I haven't played in a few
Scars or
weeks.
trespassers? You'll clearly see it. Clickers. Watch yourself. Where'd that come from?
Another thing we didn't talk about much last week, obviously the making of The Last of Us 2 is out. It was very good. If you're a fan of this game, you should watch it. But they more or less confirmed at the end of it that Last of Us 3 is being developed. Are you nervous? Excited? Where are you at with that?
I think it could be cool.
Sounds like it's a while out.
Oh yeah, that'll be a PS6 title at best.
Well, the writer and director of these games, Neil Druckmann, just said at the end of that he has a concept.
Yeah,
he has a
if it's
concept
even the
that he's
concept,
happy
they
with.
haven't even started development yet.
Yeah. Well, the question is how much of like assets or whatever they were working on with like that multiplayer game. We'll see how much that's now canceled. We'll see how much of that they can repurpose. And of course, we don't know when that interview was shot. I mean, the way like these things usually go is they're usually like months ahead of us on this stuff, like before we even know about it. But you're right, like they are super early. Like at best, like maybe next year we'll get like an official announcement. I think that's enough time.
My breath
But
I have a feeling their new IP will come out first.
yeah, which for me would be kind of a shame because I'd rather see them wrap up The Last of Us first. But we'll see.
But Sony has also said that they don't have any big like marquee titles releasing this year.
True.
But Helldivers 2 has been a great success, which I'm happy for. That game's awesome.
I haven't heard much about that.
It is Starship Troopers, the video game.
Oh, that sounds fun. They could never get an Aliens game right, so I'll take it.
You team up with some people, you drop down on a planet, and you kill bugs for liberty and democracy.
And peace.
And my new empire.
Freedom, security, justice, all that good stuff. I mean, we all know that Palpatine is the hero of the story.
Of course. He helped Anakin when the Jedi wouldn't.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Shit.
Good leader, honestly.
Come on. Let's go. Yeah. Are you okay? Yeah. Thanks. Babe.
Okay, not as smooth as our first run, but we got through there without using any resources, which
Let's
I
get
call
out of
an
here.
absolute win.
See this as an absolute win. Yeah, I don't know what happened, but like 3 shows I'm planning to watch like are all dropping this week.
This way's blocked.
So I'm like, ah, crap, I don't know what to start with. But
Me when there's like 6 games coming out in 1 month that I want to play.
yeah, sounds like it's like that. Because obviously Avatar's out now, and heard mixed things, but
Maybe
I want to give it a shot. I'll let you know what I
Your
think of
funeral.
it. And then,
Although to be fair, I was pleasantly surprised by the
Scars.
One Piece Netflix
I wonder
show.
if that's who made all those.
yeah,
videos.
that's like the best and
They
worst
buttered all
thing
those wolves.
about it, right? Is One Piece comes out and everyone's like, "Holy crap, this is actually great. This has potential." But now with Avatar, it's like, "Oh, but it's not as good as One Piece." You know, that's the give or take.
What makes me laugh with One Piece? So they're adapting this manga into a show, right? Cool, whatever.
Mm.
This is 1,000+ episode anime or 1,000+ episode manga or chapters manga. Netflix shows can't even get past season 3.
That is true. That is genuine cause for concern.
I'll be surprised if Avatar gets to season 3.
Yeah, and of course I haven't watched it yet. I will report on what I feel, but even if I'm mixed on season 1, I'm still gonna have that hope. Like, well, maybe they can fix some things and get better with season 2, but maybe. But these are also really expensive, and we'll see if they even get there.
Yeah, and they did the Yu Yu Hakusho that nobody's talking about.
Mm. Yeah, well,
Like,
and,
literally,
like
I didn't even know that was coming out until I saw it on my Netflix queue one day. And I was like, oh, things you might like.
I haven't even heard of that. And
It's an anime from like the 90s. Kind of aired around the same time as Dragon Ball, and it's about a kid who dies, and his spirit becomes like a ghost detective.
Ooh, that's fun. Like the Spectre.
Yeah,
Except he's
but
not a
with
child,
anime.
but sounds fun. Yeah, but you can't look at these things in a vacuum, right? Like, it's because One Piece comes out and everyone's like, holy crap, they did it. Here's a good live action anime. Finally. And obviously Avatar isn't technically anime, that's an American show. But if that had come out after like Death Note or Cowboy Bebop or something, like, maybe people would be a little bit more positive on it. Like, well, it's better than those. Like, you're just always kind of compared to the thing that came out before you. And of course, Dragon Ball Evolution is still like the gold standard of bad live action anime.
So I followed the production of Evolution like religiously. To the point where I remember people were speculating that Vin Diesel would be Frieza.
Ooh.
I don't see it at all, but you know, whatever. I even saw that movie in theaters like twice. So I was like, there's no way this is this bad. Like, I'm just imagining things.
Yeah, growing up, I missed out on Dragon Ball. I didn't know much about it. I knew a couple friends who were really into Dragon Ball, who were really stoked for that movie, but like I don't remember their reaction to it. I just remember seeing like some posters and stuff, like, oh, like that looks cool, you know. Like I hadn't seen like something animated like that in live action. It wasn't long before I heard of its reputation.
See, now I got to get you into Dragon Ball.
Oh God, that's too much.
What do you mean?
There's like 2,000 episodes.
Nah, you can watch the Kai version. It cuts out all the most of the filler.
Okay. Does that screw up the cropping though? Hasn't
No,
Dragon Ball had
this
that
is-
controversy?
So that's what the original Funimation 90s cut. They completely screwed the cropping on that. Kai is completely remastered and redone. Yeah. Can these things see?
Is there a lore reason why they can't see?
So it's more modern in its presentation.
Okay, gotcha. There are just some people I follow online who are really big Dragon Ball fans, so like anything I know about it, I just tangentially know through them, just from like reviews or whatever.
Look out!
This is gonna get me killed. This is gonna get me killed. This is gonna get me killed.
Move! Go!
I don't know. These
How
look
the
like
hell
some
did
mad.
that not get me killed?
It's the mad strats. You gotta have faith.
Ugh.
But no, so I'm actually watching Kai for the first
They
time
get
with
you?
my buddy. Because I grew up on the
clean.
Funimation dub, that's the one I'm used to. And like,
Shivers?
there are certain things where I'm like, you did this better in the original,
Yeah.
dub or edit.
Who the hell
But
is
overall,
Shivers
it's how I
from?
would recommend anyone wanting to get into Dragon
I
Ball
don't
to do
fucking
it.
know. But they're disgusting.
Is Kai subtitled or dubbed or both?
Both.
Okay, let's go.
I'm a nostalgia guy. I gotta have the dub.
Yeah, for that property specifically, when like the only voices I know are like Steve Bloom, like the American voices, it's like, oh, that
Steve
like
Bloom.
yeah, everyone knows Steve Bloom.
Looks clear.
In Dragon Ball?
Good.
He's someone in Dragon Ball.
Hold
he was the
up, because
Tuma.
you might be thinking of a different dub.
I mean, I don't know how many different dubs there are.
Hold up.
Maybe I'm just
So
thinking of
there's
him as.
There's two main English dubs of Dragon Ball. Or Dragon Ball Z. Well, now I'm just curious because
I could just be thinking of Cowboy Bebop because that's like the big one he's known for. I just thought he had a Dragon Ball World 2.
so he played. Hang on. So it looks like he did some voice acting for one of the games. But there is two dubs of Dragon Ball here in America. There's the Ocean dub, which was the original dub. And then somewhere around the Frieza saga, Funimation took over. For at least for like North America. And it got an all new cast who is who they still use to this day. But the Ocean dub continued, I think, in like Canada.
Shit. Needs a
Oh,
combination.
Canada.
Yeah.
I think for me, I don't mind watching stuff with subtitles, but I don't mind the dubs either when it comes to anime. I think when it comes to live action stuff, I usually prefer subtitles. Dubs I find are a lot more distracting in live action than
Let's see.
anime, personally.
For sure. And Sean Schimmel, who voices Goku in the English dub, the Funimation dub, he's up there with Kevin Conroy for me. Like, that is the character.
Ugh.
Anyone else's voice coming out of Goku is weird to me.
You're saying that the guy in Dragon Ball Evolution didn't nail the voice?
Yes.
No,
How'd you do that?
dude, I will never understand the logic. Here is an ancient alien or an alien from an ancient race of warriors who goes on an adventure to find 7 magic orbs. What if we made him a high schooler?
See, there's a popular little show you may have heard of called Smallville. So what if we just combine those two things?
Are you gonna ruin Smallville for me?
Just you know someone said that in a meeting.
Well, you know what's funny is because Goku is often compared to Superman.
Yeah, well, that's a popular fight, right? That fans
so
always like, who would win in a fight? Goku, Superman.
That's the big one, but not even that, because Toriyama loves to reference Western pop culture. Like one of the villains, Frieza, he transforms like 2 or 3 times, and one of his transformations is just a xenomorph.
Yeah.
I
never noticed that.
But Goku's original origin is he is an alien from the planet Vegeta, who was sent to Earth to conquer it as a baby. But he hit his head, and it gave him amnesia, so he grew up as one of us, and then starts to fight for the planet. So it's kind of like an interesting parallel to Superman, where instead of as a protector, he was sent as a conqueror and then turned protector. But then in one of the last movies, Broly, Toriyama retcons his origin and just makes him straight up Superman, where Bardock knows that something is going to happen to their planet, so he sends Goku to Earth.
I know shows like that get retcons a lot. Sure, mileage varies.
Yeah. Well, and Toriyama is famous for getting his own canon.
Yeah.
Shit. Shamblers.
That's why a lot of anime is just hard for me to penetrate, because I'm like, oh god, there's so much. It's been going on so long.
You watched 10 seasons of Smallville.
Eh. That was different. That they had everything planned out. They had a consistent vision. There were no retcons whatsoever. It was all part of the plan. The Smallville is one movie stretched over 10 seasons. That's what's going on. It's one tight narrative.
No, not again, not again. Get the fuck off me! Oh my god, Dina.
Find a way in.
Why were you just standing in the fire, you dumb fuck?
Spores ahead. Masks. Okay.
Well,
I know it adds an extra layer of tension, but man, there are times where I would just wish you could turn off AI assistant deaths.
true.
We gotta keep moving.
I will turn you into a weed, Robert.
There's a way through. I thought they had us. I know.
Yeah. Like I said, that's why Cowboy Bebop looks more appealing to me. That's one season and one movie that's super hard to track down. That has been sitting on my shelf for years. Still need to watch that one.
I still have to watch that show. So, like, I say I'm an anime guy, and there's a lot of modern animes that I really do want to check out. I'm a big My Hero Academia fan. But, like, the anime that I like is the stuff I grew up on in the 90s, you know, Dragon Ball, Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, I was into Naruto when I was a kid.
That was kind of on my way out of it, and like I read the manga religiously until I figured out the formula for it, and I was like, eh.
Yeah, manga's a big blind spot for me. I haven't really read any manga. I've had some friends who are in.
the best value in digital comics right now is the Shonen Jump app. For $2.99 a month, you can read 100 chapters of manga a day.
Ooh. What?
It is. I'm currently a good chunk of the way into My Hero Academia, and I've maybe made it a tenth of the way through fucking One Piece. Now, talk about unpenetrable. Been going on for like 20 years.
I think for me with Naruto was I had some friends who were into it, and what the anime I saw I enjoyed, but also like wasn't the draw for me. It was just the characters looked cool, and I had some of the Naruto fighting games when I was a kid, and those were really fun. So I think it was just like the characters in the world that like I was a fan of more than the actual show, which was very repetitive and cheap and cut a lot of corners.
Yeah.
That's anime for you.
Yeah. Thanks.
And Attack on Titan Season 1 I was a really big fan of, and then Season 2 took forever to come out, and then
Let's get out of here.
by that point, so
I really
I've never
wanted
caught
to
up.
like that show. I don't know if it's just I wasn't in the mood, but it just really came off as a less interesting Full Metal Alchemist.
That's probably a fair criticism. I don't know what Alchemist.
Well, so I went in completely blind, except for like I'd seen images of the Titans because I feel like they were a meme at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, cool, you know, monster show, and like they're gonna fight monsters, and then it just turned into like a political thing.
And gutted
I
all
was
those
like, oh,
wolves.
fuck.
Everyone in this city's a fucking psycho.
Maybe I'll finish it one day. People swear it's great.
Yeah, I liked what I saw, man. I liked some of the characters. I liked the. I mean, that intro, that first song, is pretty rad. Like, if you want to talk about good theme songs, Attack on Titan, that had a good theme song.
Anime has some legit themes.
Jesus. Have you ever seen anything like this?
I have the OG, like, before Dragon Ball Z Dragon Ball theme on my Spotify playlist. It's so good.
Nice. Yeah, well, and when I was a kid, I grew up in a time where I didn't grow up on a lot of, like, actual anime, but I grew up on some things that were inspired by anime. Most notably, Avatar: The Last Airbender and Teen Titans. So, like, that kind of was, like, my first exposure to, like, that type of style.
Yeah, you fake fan. We're making filet mignon here, and you're eating tuna.
Oh, screw you. You talked about the last stream how much you love Teen Titans. And I've seen some Ghibli movies, you know, I've seen actual anime stuff. There's a lot more I need to watch. And then there's just like a list of 4 or 5 things where it's like, okay, I need to pick one. It's like there's One Piece, there's Samurai Champloo, there's all these different things. I'm like, I need to pick. There's Dragon Ball. I need to just pick one.
Do you have Hulu?
Yes.
Dragon Ball Z Kai is on Hulu. I'd recommend giving the first maybe 10 or 10 episodes a shot.
Okay.
I think give it till Vegeta gets to Earth. And then if you're like, oh, you know, maybe I'm curious about what happens next, then go through the Frieza saga.
Well, you also want me to watch wrestling too. There's like all these different things you want me to watch.
I'm not entirely serious about wrestling. However, speaking of things that I want you to watch, have you given any thought to doing like a video on the Buffy pilot?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, we've had other things planned currently, but is that on Hulu or is that on something else?
It's on Hulu.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm definitely not opposed to that idea. I just don't know what day we'd try to make that happen.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I thought about it and I was like, I don't want to seem like I'm like pushing him. And I was like, you know, we're talking about Hulu and stuff on Hulu. I'll ask him.
Got another sandwich! Just get out of here! Go! Watch out!
I have to convert you into a Buffy fan like I did Torgo.
We all know you're the biggest Joss Whedon apologist on the internet.
That's true.
I've never seen one of those. Me neither.
Yeah, joking aside, though, that like I don't typically care when people get outed as like weird, like bad people. The Joss Whedon one stung a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know.
He
I wasn't like.
People can say whatever they want about him, like as a person, and I will agree he's a shitty human being for what he did. But as a creative, he was one of the few people, in my opinion, that got it. That like got what was cool about comics.
Yeah, that's like not. I guess there's just different ways to look at it because you know he gave us Buffy and the first two Avengers movies, all these other things, and Angel, and then it's like, oh, and here's all these other shows he did that got canceled after one season.
Yeah, but to be fair, most of those are beloved too.
Yeah, there's just like that thought exercise where you just never know. Where it's like,
Masks.
would these be as beloved though if these went on for several years? Like you'll obviously,
Yeah, maybe.
never know. Because how many of those could have been like, oh, that started cool, and then by season 4 or 5, like Firefly. I again, for the record, I do like that show, but I'm convinced like people are as like passionate and huge on it because it was canceled. That's kind of part of the legend and mystique of that show.
I go back and
Is that
forth
what we
because
got
there is an
expression?
argument to be made that Buffy kind of peters out in its last couple seasons. Season 6 is more mixed. I am a fan of it personally, but that show is still overall remembered as like
I thought they had us.
groundbreaking for what it was, and I think Firefly would have been the same way. The problem with Joss Whedon, and there's a pattern with the shows that were canceled, that it was Fox. I don't know if you remember this, but Fox was famous for canceling just shows on a fly.
Yep.
Damn it.
And both of the big shows that I know of, Dollhouse and Firefly, were Fox shows.
That's true. Yeah, no, Fox absolutely screwed up the release of that show. I mean, that show was dead on.
Which is funny, because if he went back to the UPN or at the time, or WB Network, maybe it was CW by that point, maybe he would have gotten 6 or 7 seasons again.
Yep. And you know what? Like, God, how many shows are canceled after one season, though, that get a movie? It's a miracle Serenity even happened, and I think it's pretty good. And does some things
I
right.
will watch it.
It's,
Am I really what you need to be worrying about right now, dude? There's a clicker on your ass. Fuck!
Yeah, it's fine. This is still pretty early.
Find a way in.
And like, I know he didn't direct it, but he wrote it. Cabin in the Woods is great.
Okay.
It is. Who did he work on it? Because
Drew Goddard.
there's a debate on who deserves more credit for that, him or Goddard.
But I mean, you could argue that with anything because he's most known for TV. That is a collaborative work.
Yeah. And obviously, I don't want to take away from like anything that he did well or second, because I guess it's just a coping thing. But sometimes you want to. There's like that revisionist history attitude where it's like, well, actually, it's all these other people responsible for
I'm
liking your
with
thing,
some
like
of the
which.
Buffy fandom. So there's a character in Buffy named Xander that gets it really hard. He's kind of typical 90s teen, sarcastic, probably a little bit rude to women, but like the online fandom has decided that he's like Joss Whedon's self-insert. It's
Well,
so weird.
and like, look, it's different after the fact and not knowing what like making that show was like, season to season and so many factors. And I'm just saying this through hearsay. Feel free to disagree with this. I've just heard like that about some things in Buffy that haven't aged well, which is fine, you know, because it's an older show that's going to happen. But I've heard that there is like a particular pattern in female characters getting killed off, where they're used as plot devices, whereas male characters get like more self-sacrifices. Then again, I'm just talking through hearsay. I haven't seen it for myself. I've just heard that there's this narrative of Whedon where it's like, well, he likes sexy, badass, cool female characters, but all other female characters he doesn't care about. We'll just kill off or whatever. Obviously, that's an oversimplification. I haven't seen this show for myself to have a strong opinion. That's just stuff I've heard people say.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I've been wanting to watch the show again at some point, but...
And
the big thing is, like, when you know that when somebody's gonna be happy together, one of them has to die.
yeah, and of course, having not seen it, if it's always a woman who gets the short end of the stick, like, there's maybe a problem.
But you know what's annoying about that? And I'm just kind of ranting at you now, but because I know you haven't seen the show.
Yeah.
If that was the case with him, where he didn't care about like the regular people, I don't think he would have had one of the first, if not the first, lesbian relationships on screen.
Are you okay? Yeah. Thanks.
The problem is, and especially in '90s. Again, I'm not saying
Yeah, let's get out of here.
having an opinion on this, your specific example, one way or another. In the '90s, in particular, you do get a lot more
This way's blocked.
lesbian stuff in media because it's like, well, lesbians are hot. So, oh yeah, it happens more than you think.
Because he had to fight for them to even have a kiss on screen.
Oh, I'm sure he did. I'm not saying it wasn't progressive. It's just
Did you hear
like
what they kept calling?
that was more common than
Scars.
like male
I wonder if that's who made all
stuff
those
on
animals.
TV. Because
He's got
like
all
Star
those
Trek
wolves.
was another one. I think it was Voyager that had like a big lesbian like episode or relationship or something. So I'm just saying, like, again, I'm not having an opinion on the Buffy situation. It's just like in the '90s in particular, obviously like Bound is a popular cult hit, and I'm not criticizing any of these projects. You just see a lot.
Well, but those are movies.
Cool. Yeah, well, and it's on TV too. Friends. I mean, was fairly edgy
What's the
for the
plan?
time when that started.
Got another ladder across
True.
there. Okay.
And
How do we get to-
speaking of Buffy, Amy Adams is in an episode.
That'll do.
Yeah, that's fun.
And
She
weirdly
was
enough,
small, though.
John Aston has a director's credit on an episode of Angel.
That's fun.
Yeah, and it's a really
Yeah,
good
I-
episode in an otherwise bad season.
Oh, cool. He has an interesting career, but it's hard to top Lord of the Rings, and that's fine.
Well,
Like,
it just
you can
blew
ride
my
that for
mind
the rest of
because
your
I was
life.
like, the guy from Lord of the Rings directed an episode of Angel?
Yeah. Well, he was like a child actor. Like he,
Yeah, the Goonies.
you know, yeah, exactly. He was a kid actor in some '80s stuff. So that just seems like, oh, he must have been like kind of young to, you know, direct an episode of something. But I don't know. Maybe he was
would've-
pushing 30.
Because that would have been that's late 90s.
Okay.
So he would have, that would have only been about 4 or 5 years before Lord of the Rings. Done it.
Yeah, true.
Actually, no. Season
No,
4
that would have been like
airs-
15.
No, sorry, I'm trying to think my timeline here. Because season four of Angel would have been at the same time as no, that's after.
Okay, because remember, Lord of the Rings, that starts shooting in like 98 or 99, because they shoot all three of those movies at once. So like that started shooting in the late 90s. So there might be
No,
some
because
more of that.
that might be after.
Yeah,
Because that's the
interesting.
same season as Buffy's final season. Because they run concurrently up until Angel season 5 is the only season
Floaters have acid spores.
to run when Buffy's not on,
That didn't
after
sound
Buffy's
floater.
ended.
Whatever the fuck they're fighting.
Season
we should
5
let
is
them
so
kill each
good.
other. Agreed.
I don't really know if I get to
And, hey, there's another Smallville connection, James Marster.
James Art. I always forget what his last name is. Is it James Masters? James Marsters? Like I always
Marsters,
forget.
isn't
Might be. Like the problem is I get him confused with James Marsden. So
I do
I
too.
can never remember exactly
No.
what his last name is.
This was 2003.
Oh wow, yeah, he was definitely done with Lord of the Rings by that point. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
and he's directing an episode of TV. Ben Edlund worked on this show.
Yeah, that I heard about. Definitely for Cat. Geek Collection. I've definitely heard that.
I got you! I got you!
To join us when we do the 12-hour streams of Buffy.
I guess I'm not sure though. Like I'm down to do that Buffy video discussing the pilot. I'm not sure if we should do that like episode by episode because oh god, is that going to be a lot? Or if you want to just do like season catch-ups with me, if I can like watch through it as quickly as I can. If maybe we should go that direction.
So what I would do, because I've actually covered 1 through 3 on this show on the channel before, but I'd probably just start over. Is if you do end up enjoying the pilot and be like, yeah, I'd be down. We just kind of both watch it, and when we're both ready, we just do a season video. I ain't got time to review every episode.
Yeah, it's
And
a lot.
There's already a channel that does that.
Oh, I'm sure there's a channel for everything.
So there's a channel. I can't think of it now, but they do like almost like a rewind, but on every episode and how it fits into the arc of that season. It's awesome. Oh man, and then there's the musical episode.
Is that like actually good or ironically?
No, it's great.
Okay.
Even people who don't like season 6 consider that to be like the best episode.
It definitely started that trend where if you
Yes,
haven't
it
hit
did.
Joe on a while, you gotta do the musical episode. Some do it better than others.
I think holding that open gives you in more like invincibility frames.
Yeah, you're right. I always say, like, just when in doubt, just run for it.
They get you?
Don't
No,
be stuck in one
I'm
spot.
clean. Shamblers? Is that what they call them? Yeah.
But no, that would be
Where
fun.
the Shamblers come
I can get your reaction to
I don't fucking know.
Angelus.
But they're disgusting.
I actually don't know who that is.
Excellent.
Excellent. Yeah, like I said, like, oh dear God, there's like 3 shows this week that I all want to watch. Avatar, I'll probably just try to binge that in a day or two. And Bad Batch, Star Wars The Bad Batch final season just started, and that show has gotten surprisingly good. And I've heard
they were
season
ending
3 is
that.
good. Yeah, it's ending kind of quick, but I'm kind of relieved because I didn't need it to go on forever, but...
Well, and it's
there's-
funny because I didn't even know season 2 had come out. I remember hearing about it when it came out, and then like nothing.
Yeah, season 1 is weird because season 1 starts really strong and then kind of dips hard and is just kind of mediocre for most of it. And then season 2 really picks up. There's great stuff. I would still recommend Clone Wars over it, where it's like, oh no, you gotta watch Clone Wars stuff before you watch Bad Batch. But like when Bad Batch is good, it's really freaking good. And season 3, like we've got the Emperor in it, still voiced by Ian McDiarmid, and that's fun. And I've heard that the stuff with him is great. Like, he gets
I
one
so
episode-
desperately want to be in a Star Wars mood.
Yeah, it goes in and out for me, but like, man, there's an episode of season 2 where the Emperor comes out, and it's just a really big mic drop moment. It was like, that was well done. That was good. Yeah, it's nice to see him used well as the Emperor in something. That's nice.
Awesome.
Yes.
Hey, you know what? I was just thinking, because I do have that 4-day weekend next week.
Mm-hmm.
If we have time, instead of our usual Last of Us, which we're gonna do a hiatus on anyway, let's do the Buffy pilot video.
Okay, you want to do it? Definitely remind me about it so I don't forget.
Yeah, I'll message you, what, Tuesday?
Yeah, sure. So you're thinking like next Friday or a week from next Friday?
A week from today.
Okay. Yeah, we can plan it. And you want to do it like same time?
I have a 4-day week that week, so I can do it as late as whatever time you need.
Okay, later would be better for me, but I will stay in touch.
Yeah.
And you want to just do that as discussion, right? Not as like a commentary?
Yeah, no, just unless you want to do a blind commentary, we can just do a
No,
kind of
I would.
discussion, get your thoughts.
I would for sure watch it ahead of time. I wouldn't want to do that when it's a blind commentary.
Okay. Yeah, we'll just do a video, like a how you felt about, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
If I was gonna do a commentary on a Buffy episode, it'd be the musical.
Okay.
Although Torgo and I did do a commentary on the movie.
I've heard that's interesting.
It's okay. You can tell it's not fully fleshed out. It's got a wicked good cast, though.
Yeah, it's interesting that both. Yeah, and the Buffy actress in the movie I have seen in other things.
I saw her in something recently.
Yeah,
I've
seen her.
I wonder how she feels about playing like a really popular character, but not the version that anybody remembers.
Yeah, there's lots of like weird examples of that, especially from that time period. Because I one movie on my watch list. Have you seen Highlander yet? Do you know anything about Highlander?
I think I have. Shit.
Because people feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't seen Highlander. I don't know. I'm not an expert, but how it goes, I've heard, is that Highlander comes out and it's a super hit, popular movie, and then they do a show of it that's like a different cast, and it's just like that movie, but as a show. And I think that at least started well received. So there was just kind of like this debate, like this friendly debate with fans of like, well, which do you prefer? Do you prefer the movie or show? And then Highlander. And then Highlander 2 comes out, is awful. Everyone hates it. And then the show, even if it started well, I've heard didn't stay good. And then the movie, like, there were just like some direct-to-video sequels. So it's like this weird thing for a moment where you had a popular movie and a popular show, and either version didn't end well, as I've heard. You know. And then there's weird stuff that we talk about, like Doctor Who in the middle of the year or something. They did those couple of movies with Peter Cushing that were completely unrelated. And those kind of came and went.
Yeah, I didn't know there was a Highlander show.
Yeah, I don't even know how long it lasted. It might have just been a few seasons.
I'm ready to get out of here. Same.
I feel like Austin showed me the first one, because he likes that movie.
Oh yeah, the first movie's very popular. I just know that the second one's like a notoriously bad sequel. No fans really hate the second one, and then it's just like direct-to-video garbage after that.
Like Hellraiser.
Yeah. And have you seen Darkman yet?
Oh, I love Darkman.
Darkman's great. I still haven't watched the direct-to-video sequels.
So I'm gonna pause it while I'm looking this up because this is gonna bug me. But I had a DVD 3-pack, so I've seen them. They're okay. Like, obviously, it's a big step down. The big highlight is in the sequels, Arnold Vosloo plays Darkman.
Yeah, weird choice.
Very weird. What was it?
He was the Mummy. I've heard that the...
It was Deadly Friend. So it's not a recent movie, but it's something I watched recently. So last year, I went through all of Wes Craven's films. And there's a movie called Deadly Friend that's on there, where this guy's crush dies and he replaces her brain with a robot brain or something like that. And the girl in that is the original Buffy actress.
Oh, okay. That's what you've seen then.
If you've ever seen that GIF of somebody... Yeah. If you've ever seen that GIF of a woman holding a basketball and throwing it at an old woman's head and it explodes, that's that movie. You know exactly what I'm talking about, too.
It's I'm a connoisseur of head explosions. Well, there are good ones and there are bad ones.
That movie's alright. It's not Craven's best work, but, you know.
Yeah, I know her from Psych. She has a recurring role in the later seasons. She ends up being like the main love interest for supporting characters.
That's another show I keep meaning to watch.
Thanks, Sherlock.
Is it John Cena in that show?
He is. He's not great, but it's fun to see him. He's in like 2 episodes.
Is he not great because you couldn't see him?
Maybe. That's like an early John Cena like can get though. That's like Psych season 4, so that's like 10 or 12 years ago.
Wow.
Like that is an early John Cena acting gig. Yeah, this is weird. So the main female character of that show, her brother is played by John Cena, who's in like 2 episodes, and her father is played by William Shatner, and he's in 2 episodes.
Jesus.
What a family.
I wonder how long they kept these
Right? And she looks nothing like that. Yeah, that's a show like I can see being hard to get to because for one, like it's just your taste in comedy is going to be a big factor. It's also one of those shows where the first season isn't great. It really finds its footing in season 2, so it has that working against it. Although season 2's freaking great. Like I do love that show, and it's a show I could see being kind of annoying for people now trying to get into it than it was back in the day. Because a big part of that, there's a lot of 80s nostalgia in that show, but that show was doing it before that was like the trendy thing to do.
Let me get you up there.
Yeah.
So, like, that was kind of part of its identity. But it's also not, like, pandering easy 80s nostalgia. Like, I'll still rewatch episodes and they'll reference a movie where I'm like, I don't know what they reference. Like, they do deep cut references. So I give them credit for that. And there's tons of, like, just guest stars where it's, like, anyone, like, who was, like, not an A-list star, but, you know, like, popular enough in the 80s. Like, there's lots of good, just, like, guest spots from different actors across seasons. Like, Carl Weathers in that episode. Keith David's in an episode. Like, yeah, from what I've seen or heard of Chuck, like, Psych has a very
well, you know who Chuck's mom is, don't you?
Not off the top of my head.
Linda Hamilton.
Oh, really? I should know that, but I completely forgot.
And his dad is, I'm struggling to think of his name now, but he's the captain on Star Trek Enterprise.
Ellie, you're Max.
Scott Bakula. That makes sense.
That's his dad.
Okay, so
here's a big moment.
No! Ellie, no!
Ellie reveals her immunity.
I'm not infected.
One of my favorite scenes in the game.
I'm not coughing, you see?
Because Dina has to be feeling so many things in this. Because as far as Dina knows, like she thinks Ellie has died.
Yes.
And Ellie is like having to stop Dina from sacrificing herself to save her. It's a great situation for this character.
What?
And I really wonder how they're gonna work around this in the show. Because the show doesn't have spores. So, that's unfortunate. Season 1 works fine without spores, but that's a pretty big moment to lose. And I just saw you die, and I am sorry.
I don't even know how I died.
You just got grabbed by...
So that's an insta-kill?
Oh, damn, and you're all the way back here? Oh, I guess you gotta get out of the subway completely. That's...
We gotta keep moving.
So, you want this to be the last one, or do you still got some juice in you for a while?
I can go for a little bit longer. We'll see how far I get with this.
Okay. Well, we'll go by childhood rules. Like, obviously, if you die like 15 minutes in, that doesn't count. We'll give it another shot after that. But if it's like 45 minutes, then we might need to.
I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, exactly.
Are they scarred?
Don't you miss that from couch co-op when you were a kid, where it's like if it's your turn, and then not actually couch co-op, but if you're like taking turns and you die 5 minutes in, it's like that didn't count. I get another try.
So I mean,
It was the Wild West.
Downside of being an only child, I didn't have to worry about that.
Yeah. Well, I didn't have that with siblings, but I had a lot of cousins. I have a lot of cousins.
Yeah, I guess I did have that kind of. God damn it! That's some bullshit.
Find a way in.
That was my own fault.
I blame myself.
That's funny. So the original Buffy actress apparently had a 3-episode gig on that show SEAL Team. Which is the show I'm thinking of. Yeah. Is the lead in that is David Boreanaz.
Masks.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
and I keep forgetting that you're a Chuck fan. Like, if you're a Chuck fan, you'll probably like the site.
Okay.
For sure. It, like I said, it really picks up in quality in season 2. Like, I think the season 2 premiere is the Tim Curry episode, which is one of the best. He's so freaking good in his episode.
Castle kind of has that too.
There's a way through.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Yeah,
you
I've seen some of Castle.
I know.
Yeah, my mom was into Castle, so I've seen some of it.
I watched it for Nathan Fillion. I stayed because it's Nathan Fillion. That show must have a fascinating behind the scenes though, because apparently by the end the two leads, Nathan Fillion and Stan Kotick, couldn't stand each other.
Yep. And I will say, I mean, she had my attention whenever she was on screen. I've seen her a couple of... She is the voice of Talia in Batman Arkham City.
That blew my mind when I found that out the first time.
Yeah, that's a good accent that she does in that game.
Yeah,
at least I think it is.
Too bad she wasn't as good as Wonder Woman in these Tomorrowverse movies.
Yeah, which is really weird. It's like they told... It's like the direction was, no, you have to do a Gal Gadot impression. No, just do the accent you did in Arkham City. That would work. Just do that voice.
Fuck, they're here too.
So, I don't know what happened there. I also, not to gossip or speculate or whatever, it's possible she just might kind of voted in as Wonder Woman. I don't know if she was as... I don't know.
It feels like she was told, emulate Gal Gadot as much as you can.
Yeah. And, I mean, I don't know if she's been in anything, like, big since Castle. Because, like, when she did Arkham City, that's just, like, a fun extra thing she did. You know, Castle was, like, at its height at that point. You know, and that was just a one-off thing. But now it's like, oh, you're the voice of Wonder Woman in these animated movies. Like, there's two different ways of looking at it.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting because we've had two actresses that I think are really good voice Wonder Woman in the last two universes that they've done, and neither one of them were great.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Yeah, Rosario Dawson.
Yeah, she could have been a fun Wonder Woman, or at least like a
Yeah,
voice.
that might have worked.
This way's blocked.
Yeah, I think their take on just wasn't great.
Maybe.
Though I didn't mind her movie when they gave her
That blood and whatever.
Bloodline.
I haven't seen it, but from what I remember reading about it, it's adapting a lot of Perez.
I wonder if that's who made all those murals.
That's interesting. I thought I was looking at more
Go to all
modern
those
stuff,
wolves.
but I haven't read as much Wonder Woman as I should.
Everyone in this.
And
You thought it was looking at what?
Oh shit.
the New 52, like more modern stuff.
Well, that's the
But
thing,
I
though,
really
right?
don't know.
All of those new 52 movies basically just adapted other movies, but with the designs from the new 52. Or not
Yeah,
other movies, like older storylines. Much to the
Like,
detriment in some cases of those storylines.
yeah. I mean, Son of Batman, I think, could have been good. Because that's a
if you
lot of
rewrote
material.
it from the end, beginning to end.
I just mean, like, basically taking Damien's introduction and him becoming Robin and the Damien and Bruce, and, like, just taking all of that and putting it into one movie. Like, I think that could have worked in theory, but yeah, there were some messed ups. And then they did Court of Owls, but not really. And then Son of Bat,
What's the
and
plan?
then
Got another ladder across
the
there.
third one was weird.
Okay,
The
Bad
third
Blood
one was the
Fight.
only one entertaining.
get to it.
That's what I've heard. Like, it's still
Will do.
bizarre, the stuff they were pulling from, and, like, it was weird to do Dick Grayson as Batman for the third one.
Yeah,
with
it's
the
so
Damien
weird
stuff.
that. What in the hell are we doing?
Ladder's broken.
Getting our asses kicked.
Damn it.
What's up, Armada? Yeah, it's weird that whole trilogy kind of retroactively is like just the Snyder Morrison trilogy.
Yeah. Yeah. But they also, I mean, I like Death of the Family, and I would have liked that as a movie. They didn't do that. Zero Year, they didn't do. There was a lot of, like, big New 52 stuff they just skipped over. And that was weird. Like, Forever Evil, that was a popular
I got
comic.
you.
And they didn't do that as a movie. It was very strange.
Well, no, because they did that Batman trilogy and then they immediately jumped to Hut, of all things.
Yeah.
We're definitely on the struggle bus here, X.
Me neither.
I'm going the wrong way. Wait, no. Am I going?
Hush has some good stuff in it, but I really didn't like the ending.
I haven't seen it.
Uh,
I know that they changed Hush's identity.
Okay. I had the weirdest viewing, one of the weirder viewing experiences of anything I've ever seen in my life. And of course, reading the comic first played a factor. And, like, I heard some things were different, but I kind of avoided spoilers. And I watched Hush. And I was like, this is alright, this is okay. And when it ended and cut to credits, I was kind of gobsmacked, because I didn't think we were at the end of the movie. I was waiting for another twist. And then it's just over. And I was like, what? Like, oh. I don't know if I should feel stupid or irritated.
Is there a lore reason you were bamboozled?
I was speckledorfed. I was duped. And that was just, but the problem is they did like 3 of those in a row where it's like, okay, what if we adapted the story, but then changed the ending? Because why not? And it's like I don't like that Gotham by Gaslight movie. I'll give it credit for kind of being its own thing, but
See, I
that
thought
ending.
it was pretty good. I only saw it once.
I wish they had just, like, not done Jack. Like, it's just such a different thing from that comic. Like, I don't know.
Is that not what the
Almost
comic
wish it-
is?
Fuck these assholes.
Jack the Ripper?
Yeah. No, that is what the comic is, but that's all it is, and the ending twist is different. The reveal is different. But the movie does what the comic had restraint on, where the movie's like, okay, but what if we had Poison Ivy and, like, all these other characters, like, worked in and remixed, and at that point it's such a different thing. I don't know, and I was very mixed on that adaptation.
Yeah, for sure. I've almost got this memorized.
Shit. Needs a combination.
That's true. You got it down to an exact science. Would be amusing if this is where we got stuck on the code with the soda can and we just couldn't figure it out. What was it? No.
No, 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 no. Wait, wait, wait.
We have fun here.
We do.
Yeah, and we've talked about this before. Like those DC animated movies, like, ugh, I hate calling things overrated or whatever, but there was just that period of time when the DC live action movies were really sucking, and everyone online was saying, "Okay, the DC movies suck, but the animated ones are great. Those are awesome." And I was just kind of alone, where I'm like, "Yeah, those aren't that much better." You know, that was during like the New 52 movie era. I was just kind of alone on an island, like, they're not that much better than the live action stuff. Like, and I think the last great one was maybe Flashpoint, and that was 10 years ago.
Mm.
And Flashpoint isn't even... I thought Long Halloween was pretty good. I'll give it credit for not messing up the story too much. But I thought it was pretty good.
Well, and I don't love that book, so I thought,
Sure.
oh, here's how you get back here.
Oh, did we finally figure that out? I forgot about that.
I
Thought we were stuck here.
kind of gave up on doing it, but I'll take it.
That's what I'm saying. There are these sections in games where you're like, oh no, if I make too much progress, I'm not going to be able to turn back. But it's going to kill me not knowing, yep, I was right. I was like, thought there was a vent or something. Yep, it was a crawl space. That's what it was.
What it was.
So now you're going to crush it. Like, I'd say my two favorites from, like, the last decade are probably Justice League versus Teen Titans, which is very fun, and Suicide Squad Hell to Pay, which I might consider that one great. I think Hell to Pay is very,
awesome.
very good. Yeah, that's probably the best of the New 52 ones.
There must be a way around. I like your optimism.
And then I thought Superman Red Sun was awful.
I didn't see it because I
That
heard it was bad.
That was like, okay, what if we did the comic, but also not did the comic and made it suck? Nailed it. And there are things you can change about the comic. You can definitely change the ending of that one, but yeah, that movie, oof. And everyone else seemed to like it at the time, so I was kind of alone. Like, all right.
Yeah, I think the only people I saw talk about it was Cap and Eric, and they hated it.
Yeah, and they didn't like it either.
I was like, yeah, I'm good.
I feel like everyone loves the idea of Superman Red Sun, and almost no one has actually read the comic. Everyone just knows what that logo is.
I have not
Where
read
it's
it.
like, where it's like, oh, it's Russian Superman. Like, that's a cool concept, you know?
Yeah.
And, like, I've said this before, if we do bring back Henry Cavill in something, I've always said I don't need it to be in that continuity. Like, if I had my wish, in, like, 10 years, we'd get a Kingdom Come live-action movie, and you'd have, like, Henry Cavill, Gal Gadot, and Ben Affleck in those roles. Like, again, it would be disconnected, it would be its own thing, but that would be my dream project. But now people are saying, oh, a Henry Cavill Superman Red Sun movie would be awesome, and if you could do the accent, I wouldn't. Like, that could be cool as an Elseworlds thing.
British Russian, it's close enough.
Yeah, that's the same thing. British people voice Russians all the time. And I'm sure Russians are totally cool.
Now, where the hell is
Okay.
that door?
I'm ready to get out of here.
Where is
The problem
the
with this area is they put like 600 shamblers in here, and I can't see shit.
That might be a bit of an exaggeration.
Maybe
Just-
but
It's just a sign of it.
teeny tiny, teeny tiny, teeny tiny.
Yeah, and when you do get to that section with the subway, after the scene with the mask, when you're just running for it, it's like you just gotta run and avoid the infected. Because I remember my first playthrough of this, I died there a couple times too, because I kept like trying to fight them or running into them, and you just gotta book it and avoid them when you get there again.
Okay. I thought I stopped because I thought Dinah got grabbed, but I must have been wrong.
Yeah, there's just a lot of chaos going on on screen, and there's a lot of commotion.
Now, where the hell is the exit?
There are no exits that way.
True. 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 Oh, wait, maybe I'm supposed to come down.
And then, yeah, with those animated movies, Just Like Dark Apocalypse War is a lot of fun, but part of why it works is because I just don't give a shit about that continuity, and I don't like most of those movies. That's kind of why it works.
That might be my favorite one, just because they had the balls just go.
There.
Here's everything you hate, brutally murdered.
I feel like it did what Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is doing, but better.
Way better.
What the hell happened here?
I don't know. I think at the end of the day, I've kind of come around the problem isn't that you're killing the Justice League. This is how we were introduced to 4/5 of the Justice League.
Jesus.
Yep.
I wonder how long they kept these running past Outbreak Day.
And this is what we do with Arkham Bat. It's so bizarre.
Yeah, coming.
It is what it is. Both of its endings suck. Arkham Knight's not that much better.
Yeah, I keep it more Terry. Don't get me wrong, I hated the ending of Arkham Knight. So.
And also, he'll be back. We already know that.
Getting closer.
No,
Yeah,
there's
just-
leaked
it feels
audio
like-
logs that they're bringing
Hey,
back the
Let
Justice
me get you
League.
up there. Yeah.
It feels like the damage has been done already, and whatever they do will just come up as a retcon, even if it was always the plan. I feel like it just makes no one happy, because there are all the defenders
What
who
you
say,
got?
well, what, it's called Kill the Justice League, that's what you expect.
Oh.
It's like, well, but if they undo that, then that kills that argument.
Come on.
I guess to play devil's advocate, even if they bring him back, it won't be the same because obviously Kevin Conroy isn't around to record new lines.
Yeah, and if it's just Batman from the multiverse, like, that doesn't
We're almost out.
like, that's not the same Batman.
Lead on.
So
If that's
there's
all it
two-
is.
The biggest theory right now is that the League that we killed, like the Evil League, are the clones or from a different universe. The actual
Yes.
League from this universe is just like trapped somewhere.
Which would be cool, but that could also come off like a cop-out.
True.
And like it's like everyone's angry, everyone's sorry. It feels like the damage is like I don't know how well the game sold, but I think everyone who wanted to play that game got it, and I don't see it bringing in many new players over time.
Ellie, your mask.
But it could be wrong.
Here. We can share mine.
No! Don't take it! Stop! Stop! Ellie, stop! What? No! Ellie, no!
Stop! I'm not infected. I'm immune. I'm not coughing, do you see? Fuck. Dina. Shit. Can you run?
Yeah. Yes.
Let's fucking go! Go!
Please, God, do not let me get lost.
Just run for the light. That definitely never happened every time I played.
All right. What time is it? How you feeling, Robert? It took me about 18 minutes to get here.
18 minutes. I can do another one. That's like
Find a way in.
that was lame. Like
Where's the head? Masks. Okay.
My advice is like you got to make sure you have a melee weapon by that point and not just your knife, because there was the prompts that came up to strike. Like I think you just got to hit that guy who's on Dina and then just freaking run. So it'll definitely help if you have a hammer or a baseball bat or
We gotta
something.
keep moving.
Luckily for me, I have one of those.
Yeah. That's all the advice I got, is if the same thing happens where one gets on Dina, you just want to be able to take him out
the
in one
first time
hit.
too. Is one of them got on Dina and I hesitated and it killed her.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if Dina got killed or not. I just remember one jumping on one of you.
So which is it? Are they scars or trespassers? Watch yourself.
And since we're here, one thing I want to circle back to, but not like long, we can just kind of put a pin in it, is because I forgot to mention this earlier when we were talking about so is it Buffy or Angel that has a lesbian character?
Buffy.
Okay, and I'm not saying like that wasn't a big deal or progressive or whatever, and like I said, I can't review it since I haven't watched it, but I have seen Firefly, and that has a character who I guess you'd call like bi or pansexual or whatever, because she is a prostitute, which is they're actually called companions in the show, and that is legal in the future of that show. But there's one episode that makes a really big deal about her hooking up with a woman, and one of the guys on the ship is like, "Ooh," and it comes off very fetishy. So I'm not saying that's what that is on Buffy. I'm just saying with stuff I have seen from Whedon, and that in the Firefly example, it didn't come off like progressive or whatever. It was just like, oh, this is just like a really fetishy thing he's doing for an episode. All right, like that's how it comes off in that show.
Maybe through here?
Yeah, for sure.
And that's like the only time we ever do that with that character or talk about it. It's not like a part of her identity out of that one episode.
It's the girl from Gotham, right?
Yeah,
Scars.
Marina.
I've seen the
Factory.
first few episodes of that show. I really want to like that show, but
Wolves.
It definitely took me a while to get into. Like, I like it, but it took me a bit to get through all of it, for sure.
I'll probably give it another shot at some point. I'm watching Deep Space Nine right now, and I'm really liking it.
Yeah, I want to. I think this is probably a hot take. I'm probably more interested to watch like Deep Space Nine start to finish than I am Next Generation. Next Generation, I think I just want to watch the highlights.
Yeah,
like just the best ofs. Because
What
I've seen a couple.
DS9 versus TNG. Like DS9 is just much more my thing.
Yeah, and Deep Space Nine, as far as I know, is just more serialized. I'm sure there's filler episodes too.
What's the plan?
I think that is more of an
Ladder
ongoing
across
story.
there.
Next Generation does.
Okay. How do we-
This is what we talk about on this show. Everyone is things I am not an expert on.
Well, that's what we're fun. That's what's fun about it.
If I'm lucky, I've only gotten like 5 things wrong.
Joke's on you. You've gotten them all wrong.
No.
Dina, this way.
Got another sandwich! Just get out of here! Oh, watch out!
Batman Hush actually has the ending from the comic, and I'm just
I got you! I got you!
No, I know for sure they tweaked it.
No, it definitely does. I can say I have both read the comic and seen it.
I've heard some people say the ending is an improvement, but
It's not.
I don't know. I've always thought Tommy Elliott was a cool character that just never had the right writer.
Yeah,
Except for the Heart of Hush.
which everyone says is good, and I need to read.
It's Paul Dini. You can't go wrong with Paul Dini.
Yeah, that is true most of the time. Yeah. Speaking of Paul Dini, his wife, Misty Lee, who voices some of the clickers in these games. She is a voice actor and also a professional magician. Because I don't know if you know this, Paul Dini's like obsessed with Zatanna, the DC character, and he basically married Zatanna. So good on him. He married a magician who can also make clicker noise. Whatever does it for you.
Think she does that in the bedroom?
Watch it!
Yeah, don't knock it till you try it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they've been married a while too, like 10 years or something. So I hope it works out.
I'd like
I
to
don't
see
get,
Gunn
like-
bring in Dini to help write some of the Batman stuff.
That would be great. Like, oh god. So this is like what was pissing me off was like several years ago when the DC movie stuff was really bad. And everyone online was like, "Oh, their animated stuff is so good. They should bring in those right." And it's like during the New 52 movies, and like, why don't they get those writers to write the movies? And I'm like, no, I don't want that. Just give me Paul Dini and I'm good. Yeah, that is like a thing I really hope changes though. Is this when you have someone who's written like super critically acclaimed stuff in animation or comics or video games or whatever, and it's like, yeah, but we're movie people and we don't use those people on a project. It's like, God, I hope that's on its way out. Like if you have someone who's written like super critically acclaimed stuff.
Yeah. I feel like
I think
we're
we're-
breaking those boundaries though, like, because you had Dini on the video
They
game,
get you?
on the Arkham games.
No, I'm clean.
He just hasn't gotten any. He just hasn't gotten a live action movie though.
Is that
And
what
we've
they call
got
them?
Gunn, and I feel like if anyone was going to hire one of the
Where the hell does
DCAU
Shambles come
guys,
from?
it's going to be Gunn.
I don't
Yeah.
fucking know.
And this isn't a knock on
Very
Dini.
disgusting.
It's just is gonna happen. There's also that worry that like maybe he's past his best stuff. Because what I've read of his Batman Continues comic hasn't been very good. So I don't know.
It's a
It
shame.
might depend on the project. It's just and this and like it's fine. Like not everyone needs to like be at their peak forever. It's just like, you know, he has written Batman stuff for over 30 years now. Like he may have already told his best stories, you know, like that just happens.
True.
But in the case of something like The Last of Us show, I mean, it's a big deal that like Neil Druckmann directs an episode and has writing credits on several episodes. It's like that. You don't see a whole lot of that pre Last of Us, so that is changing.
Yeah. And then the Borderlands movie happened.
I haven't watched that trailer and I don't know anything about Borderlands, but I know people aren't happy about it.
So bad.
It's got Kate
Shit.
Blanchett though.
Needs a
Yeah,
combination.
like half the cast is wrong. Shit.
Is Eli Roth a weird choice for that project?
Very weird.
Yes.
Twisted Metal would have made more sense for him.
Magic. You're my favorite.
Or a horror game. I
Yeah,
don't know, the
sure.
thing with Roth is he's an exploitation guy.
Yeah. Have you seen
Uh,
Thanksgiving yet?
I
forgot if we
finally
talked-
watched it. It was quite good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, because remember, I think no wait, that was you weren't there. Never mind.
Well,
But no, the original trailer is also great. But yeah, no, like Borderlands is like an insane Mad Max ripoff, and you get a horror exploitation guy, and Kevin Hart as Roland might be one of the worst casting decisions
Right.
I've ever seen.
yeah, sometimes you do get in it. Because say what you will about The Last of Us, like just as an example, if like maybe not all that casting worked for you, none of those were like stunt casting, just big names. You know what I mean? It's like, but
I
then
don't know,
you
man.
put
That Troy Baker guy, that was some stunt casting if I ever saw it.
But then Kevin Hart, it's like, okay, you're just doing this to put Kevin Hart in the movie because you think that'll sell tickets. All right, like that's annoying. It would be. I know nothing about Borderlands, but from what I've seen, it would be like casting Kevin Hart as Cyborg. It's like that's just not the right fit.
Comparison.
But if Carl Weathers was still alive and they casted Carl Weathers, I don't think it'd be like... if you're just gonna make everyone old, yeah, but at least be consistent with it. If you're just gonna make everybody old, why not? Because like Kate Blanchett, as far as I'm concerned, doesn't age. She has looked the same for like 20 years.
Yeah.
I don't know, but we've all been here with video game adaptations. You don't get your hopes up.
True.
I mean, we've talked about this on previous streams, like Uncharted, where I was in the minority, where I wasn't upset about Tom Holland's casting for Nathan Drake. I thought that had potential to fit. And then Mark Wahlberg as Sully is like, okay, that... I don't see it. But I was still hoping to be proven wrong. That was the thing. It was like, well, if he has the mustache and if he does a performance I've never seen him do before, that could be exciting. And then the trailers are coming out. It's like, nope, he's just playing how he would have played Nathan Drake. All right.
Can't remember how to get the fuck out of here.
X marks the spot.
Watch it!
What? Get up! Or not? Jesus fucking... I hate that bullshit. When they... Alright. That's it for me.
Okay, you're done?
I am good to go. I might try this again off stream or something, but nothing pisses me off more when I literally can't move.
Yeah.
Thank everybody for tuning in. I appreciate it. And we'll be back next week, hopefully with the Buffy video, and then 2 weeks from now, we'll get back to this. I appreciate y'all. Have a good night.